Hello internets, Jesus loves you. My name's Cody and this is a Christian News Show we do every Tuesday. And I want to start off by just saying again, my prayers are out to everyone who has been hit by Irma. I've seen pictures of just the destruction that it created. I have a lot of friends out there and I know that most of them can't even watch this, but I do hope that you are safe. And on a lighter note, I do want to remind everyone that September 29th, we are doing the Geeks Under Grace podcast live at facebook.com/Geeks Under Grace and twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. Come interact with us. We're giving out giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you join us. But with that, let's get into the first story of the day. And this is more of a conversation than a news story. There was an article I found about YouTube's new advertising policy and questioning whether or not it is attacking Christians and conservatives. For those who aren't up to date, there was this thing that people were calling the adpocalypse on YouTube. And basically what happened with it is that a ton of advertisers went, whoa, this is where our ads are going, are on these kind of videos. We don't want that. And so YouTube made their advertising policy very strict. So advertiser-friendly content is a very narrow term now. And because of that, basically anything controversial is not advertiser-friendly. And as you can imagine, a lot of religious conversations kind of fall under that controversial category. For example, if I put ISIS or Boko Haram in my description or my tags, often those videos don't get advertised. And so I wanted to give feedback to the situation because a lot of Christians are going, oh, this is persecution, but that's a very narrow idea of what's going on here. You have to remember that at this point, everything is divisive and political correctness just runs rampant. Everything offends everybody, not just Christianity. Philip DeFranco's videos get flagged just because of his colorful language. It should also be stated that YouTube is not trying to attack anybody, they're trying to run a business. And when business says, goodbye, we don't like you, YouTube's gonna try to fix that the best way they can. My advice to Christian YouTubers out there is don't rely on advertising. You shouldn't be doing so anyways, but there are other ways to do revenue with YouTube, and I would definitely go those routes. It's just not a discussion we need to be super worried about until YouTube says we're just not going to show your videos at all. Next is a story I know everyone wants to be aware of, and that is a Chick-Fil-A that is open on Sundays. It's in Virginia, so if you live there and you're in luck. The only problem with it is that they're not serving, any kind of food on Sundays at all. It's a really cool story though. So there's this church called the White Oak Community Church, and they were having services across the street from this Chick-Fil-A every Sunday in a building that they can no longer use. Chick-Fil-A across the street finds out about this, says, you know what? You go ahead and you have service in our restaurant, which makes total sense because they're not using it anyway. Yeah, super cool. I love good guy Chick-Fil-A stories, and they do come up time to time. They just warm my heart. And from that, we go to the final story of the day. It's about Lecrae and Andy Mineo. If you don't know who they are, they're big names in the Christian rap scene. And so Lecrae, he's hanging out with Andy Mineo in New York. They're promoting Lecrae's new album, All Things Work Together. Andy Mineo is kind of touring Lecrae around the city, showing him different spots because Andy Mineo is from there. And they start walking towards the Bronx where they find this woman who, she's topless, she's stumbling about, she hits her head on this pillar. She then proceeds to climb over the side of a bridge, getting ready to jump. And while she's doing this, she's saying things like, I want to go home, I want to be with Jesus. And according to Andy Mineo, Lecrae reached out and grabbed her. Andy Mineo did the same thing. They started wrestling her back onto the street. My favorite part is they're just going back and forth saying, you matter, you're meant to be here, you are home, Jesus loves you. And Andy Mineo kind of retells the story on his own profiles. I believe it was Instagram he used. But looking closely, Andy Mineo realized that the woman was transgender. She had undergone surgery, she was wearing a wig. And Andy Mineo does much more justice than I do. I'll leave links in the description down below. But Andy Mineo says, when we see people like this, we tend to hate and ridicule and be bigots towards them. And I love what Andy Mineo said, which was that we're really good at talking, we're not so good at listening and hearing their sides of the story. And some people in the LGBTQ community, they're Christians and they're having to wrestle with two different worlds, and instead of showing them love and grace, we kind of push them away. And so again, Andy Mineo does a way better job of telling the story, but the invitation is to listen, and I think we should take it. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end today's show. Like I said, you should check out Andy Mineo's version. I'll leave it in the description down below. Definitely go check it out. Question of the day, what are your thoughts on this YouTube policy? I mean, you heard me, maybe you agree with me, maybe you disagree with me. Do you think we should be worried about the YouTube advertising policies that are going on right now? Please leave your comments in the comment section down below with your answer. As always, my name's CodyArmour, bringing you Christian news in a not so boring kind of way every Tuesday at youtube.com/CodyArmour. We'll see you next week. God bless.